I don't mind sharing with you, but when I started my business back in 1991, 92, somewhere back then, I didn't have a clue about most things concerning business. And I certainly didn't have a clue about sales and marketing, because guess what? Nobody was teaching it to me. And what I learned along the way, I've spent tens of thousands of pounds attending courses, being mentored, learning, reading books, really understanding the world of marketing. Many years ago, set myself the challenge that, God, if I could get good at marketing, all my problems would disappear, or because I'd be able to generate regular income and regular sales. And to a certain degree, it's really true, because if you can sell your services and your products, you should never go hungry, really. But I want to share with you why I did back then, and most people just use hope as a strategy, and what you can do to get away from that. And you might say, well, I don't use hope as a strategy. We have, adverts that we run, and we post on social media, and we go networking, and we do these. Brilliant. Brilliant. Because the first thing we need to understand is your sales and marketing system, are you able to score it 10 out of 10? Are you able to say, I have a completely reliable and robust and repeatable sales and marketing system? And that's different from it works sometimes and then it doesn't. Or that's different from, well, when I need sales, I hustle and I go and get some work. What we want is a reliable, repeatable system for sales and marketing, something you can rely on, something you can turn on and turn off if necessary, that says, when I do this, I get these sorts of customers. Now, if you get that level, you should then be able to start measuring that data. And any of you who have gone into the depths of marketing, where you might do pay-per-click advertising, you might understand the numbers around the pay-per-click. So that the more people click, the cheaper the advert goes down, the more people buy, and that relationship between the cost per click, the cost per acquisition, becomes a really important thing. Then you might get split testing, where you run advert A and advert B and see which is the best one. That's the sort of level that you want to be getting to. And if you're scoring 10 out of 10 for that, then you probably don't need this video. You've cracked sales and marketing. But most small businesses don't have the resources to be able to put all that together, and therefore get caught up in the latest kind of fad. And the easiest answer is, well, I just post on social media. Why? Well, because everybody does, and that's where you've got to be, isn't it? Well, no, is the answer to that, once you've learned a little bit more about this. So sales and marketing is the topic I want to cover in this video. I've covered business systems and accounting systems in previous videos, and I've also covered price and positioning. And there's a master video you can go and watch which covers all of this as to why it's really important. And if we get really good at our sales and marketing, and we get good at the other parts of our business as well, then the amount we charge and the quality and the value and the message we deliver and our positioning, these will have a direct interlink with each other, which then can mean you can improve your sales and marketing as well. So where do we start? Most businesses that don't understand sales and marketing will have a slogan of, we deal with your every need. In other words, my first slogan was, I deal with all your accountancy needs. I don't really know what that means, but I saw it on the side of a van. I deal with all your carpentry needs, all your plumbing needs. I thought, everybody seems to be using that. I'll just change plumbing for accountancy. It's meaningless, okay? Because what often happens, and I've just recently seen a client who is a client we've been working with a while, who has produced this beautiful website for their creative services, and it is absolutely superb. They've upgraded their website and it's really cracking. But then they went back and had a team meeting about their own values around the marketing, because it's all sort of interlinked, as a lot of this stuff is. And they started to articulate what it was about them and how they would do the thing, and how important it was for them. And whilst at some level it's important they recognise their areas of responsibility, etc., what I had to remind them and bring them to the surface was that nobody cares except them. Nobody cares about me and my business except me and Vicky, okay? When we're talking to the outside world, we're talking to our customers. And we've got to talk in the language of our customers, and we've got to talk to them. And we've got to meet them in the conversation they're having and hopefully provide them with a solution. And that's depicted with this very simple picture here, is your customer is out there somewhere with some sort of problem, challenge, worry. They've got a pain. They've got a bit of pain. And even that was a problem for me to digest at the beginning, because I thought, well, people need to have pain. They need to be struggling. What about people who go on holiday? They're not struggling. Well, they do have a pain. They have a desire. They have a desire for happy times. They have a desire for great memories. They have a desire to see the world and travel. So the pain is they don't have what they want. So whether your service or product is of a exciting nature that you deliver, like a holiday, or a grudge purchase, like buying accountancy services, either way, there is a pain point to it that you have to go and dig into. And when you understand this level of pain or this level of desire, when you start to understand what's going on in their conversation now, what are they saying? What are they thinking? Our mission is to help them achieve that as fast as possible, because if we can achieve that result fast, they're likely to buy from you. Now, there's all sorts of complexities that go on with that simple statement, but the point of it is to recognize and understand that to have a good sales and marketing system and process for your business, you first of all have to get the language that you're using right. You have to focus on the customer. You have to understand what the customer wants. You have to really dial into that so that you can provide the connection with your marketing messages to get them to stop whatever they're doing, press a button, make a phone call, book a call with you, decide that you're the person that can solve the problem, and they become a customer. In that process, one of the pain points that I've had over the years, and I've learnt the hard way, and I've seen lots of other people have this, is that along the way, you might have a really crappy client, a really shitty customer, a customer that comes in, no matter what you do for them, how hard you work for them, how much you deliver for them, they just aren't satisfied. Now, there are times where you go all in to help a client and you make a mistake. We're human beings. And because you make a mistake, the client's upset. So long as you rectify it and you put it right, there's every good chance that that client will stay a client and will be recognised that you're human, you made a mistake. That's genuine. But by and large, if you've got clients and customers who are complaining, if you've got clients and customers that every time the phone rings or every time they come in the door or every time they communicate with you, you just want to hide under the desk or you just want to ignore the phone calls, these are good signs. You're not scoring 10 out of 10 with your sales and marketing system, because the reason that you have crappy clients is you let them in. You said, I don't really understand what your problem is. I don't really understand what's going on in your head. Therefore, I'm just going to sell my stuff to you. And you're selling your really good quality product and service to somebody who isn't your ideal client. And the reason that you need to identify your ideal client, your ideal customer, is that you want to be able to send your marketing message to the right person. And we call it this. In our book we describe this, and in our course we describe this. They're Alex and Chris. They're two kind of stooges, really. They're two made-up people. The reason we use the word Alex and Chris is either male or female. It's gender neutral. Alex is the person that, oh my God, you're such a nice client. If it wasn't the fact that I need the money, I would work for you for free. That's how good a client you are. You're a pleasure to work with. And Chris isn't. Chris isn't a pleasure to work for. Chris is the sort of person that when the phone rings, you want to take a rusty spoon and dig your kidney out, okay? Because it's more pleasurable than dealing with this arsehole that keeps phoning you up with all the things. But they still are your customer and they still give you money, and begrudgingly they give you money, and it's always a fight, and they probably discount your fees, and they probably ask for the biggest discounts and cause the most pain. And if you were to go and analyse your CRIS clients, okay, one thing you'll find is it's a classic 80-20. 20% of your clients, your customers, will be causing 80% of your pain. Test it. Go and have a look at your customer base. If you've got 10 customers, 2 of them will cause you more communication than the other 8 put together. Okay, this is a classic 80-20 rule. And what we've got to do is we've got to figure out a system for not letting these people in the first place. So what we do is we do a little study, we dig into the demographics and the psychographics of our potential customers, and we understand them, and we try and understand what they're saying. What is your customer really saying right now? So I use my accountancy business as a sort of example. I sold accounts and tax. Here's a set of accounts and here's a tax return. That's what I billed for, that's what I got paid for. But not one person then, now, or in the future will ever have a conversation with me saying, Kev, I would love a tax return. Right? Nobody wants a tax return. Nobody wants a set of accounts. What they want is what that means to them. And some people, it will mean nothing more than simply, I don't want to deal with it. It's too complicated. It stresses me out. Will you do it for me? Yes, I will. Oh, thank God for that, they say. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone. Thank God for that, they say. And actually what I'm selling is trust. Trust me, I'll do this for you. I'll take the weight. Now, I have to be really good at what I do. I have to be good to instill that trust. But if I'm really good and I do a great service and I look after people properly and I position myself properly, I can also charge premium prices for that. There's also an element about your pricing structure that can damage the perceived value of your business if you're actually too cheap. People go, well, what's wrong with it? Why is that too cheap? That doesn't seem enough. Okay, so pricing is an important aspect of it. But if we choose the right customers to work with and we understand this, our marketing message means that we attract the people that we want in our business, but we deliberately repel the people we don't want. But what you'll also find is, and here's a little bit of inside information, is that you might think that it's kind of 50-50. I've got these people over here that I like, and I've got these people over here that I don't like. The reality is, it's not, because somebody who's sitting on the fence says, oh, they're a bit of a Chris and they're a bit of an Alex. I can guarantee you they're going to be more of a Chris than they are an Alex. So what you want to do is you want to move that line a little bit further up. Again, 80-20. And what you'll find is 80% of the people who come towards you to buy your products and services probably aren't your ideal client. Then don't let them in. But if you looked after the 20%, you got the message right for the 20%, you really understood what their problem was, and you went all in to solve that problem properly without any problems because the relationship between you and your customer is really good, then you will find your business will be a whole lot easier to run, your systems generally will be easier to run, the whole process of quality and value and pricing will be so much easier because they're the right people in the first place. They actually want what you want, or they may not know they want what you deliver, but you understand their problem and therefore they're likely to come and talk to you. So the essence of your sales and marketing system, this is not a sales and marketing video of everything about sales and marketing. It's a huge topic, just as all of these topics are. But the point that I'm saying is that most business owners that I speak to come to me, and when I challenge them about their sales and marketing system, it's a little bit of hope. It's a little bit of luck. They seem to always have business, sort of word of mouth. There's no system, it's just word of mouth. There's no depth to anything, it's just luck. And when that luck runs out, which it does sometimes, and they have no work for a month or two, the pain they go through, they suddenly run out of money, is huge and often takes months, if not years, to recover. Generally, if you have a bad month, it might take you 3 months to recover from that bad month. If you have a bad year, it might take you 3 years to recover from that because you might have to borrow money. I've seen it thousands of times. And it helps if we can have the right people to market to And in doing so, you might discover that what you're selling needs to change to meet the right people. Maybe what you're selling, this product you sell, this service you sell, and it's a bit all over the place, which means your systems and processes aren't very good because, well, if it's this type of person, we do this, and if it's this person, we do that, and if it's this, it's too complicated. Simplify it by saying, look, these are our ideal clients. Market to them, find out what their real pain points are, and sell the thing that they need because they're going to be much easier. And then the business is easier. And therefore we can reduce the stress, we can help you have a better choice and more time and hopefully make a bit more money along the way. All right? So I hope that helps. And otherwise we'll see you in the next video.